Hi guys, and welcome back to another lyrical breakdown with me, your lady friend Bonnie. Ooh, I'm so happy to see you. I'm in a funny mood, so we're gonna check out a fun song. I'm excited for that. So join me. Let's do that together. We're going back 18 years this time. Yeah. So besides that, we still have, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe no more contest winners. We may have got everybody in this time. Anyways, still subscribe, like, comment on this or any other video. Let me know what you guys want to see in any other future lyrical breakdowns. Let me know. This is off of that request list, so I'm excited to bring that to you guys this week. Yeah, I'm excited. Let's just get into it. So this week we are doing Adele the Funky Homosapien. The song is Soopa Feen. Like I said, this was a request. I don't even remember where it came from, but it was definitely on the request list. I put it on there. And it's off of the album Both Sides of the Brain, which came out April 11th, 2000. So like I said, we're going back 18 years. Yeah, so let's give it a little bit of a listen.
So his face might look familiar to some, but now your boy's plumb dumb running around.
So yeah, now that you listen to it a little bit, you kind of get the feeling, for what it is. If you haven't heard this song, it's definitely one of those songs that I would never think to listen to it personally, but as it was on the request list, I obviously, just kind of like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, picked one and just decided to do this one. And it's great. It's got a great beat. It's super fiend. It's super fun. Yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. Oh, and we have done Adele the Funky Homosapien album before. So if you are interested in seeing that, I think the link will be in the description or up above me somewhere. Okay, so right here we're hearing the words of Soopa Feen at the very beginning. This is the intro. So, haha, yeah, it's Soopa Feen back in the house, baby. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, Soopa Feen in the house. Give me some crack, fool. I ain't no bitch. I'm Soopa Feen. I'm the greatest superhero in the universe. Listen to me, fool. Listen to me. I'm Soopa Feen. So, yep, Soopa Feen is back. He wants crack. He's no bitch. He's Soopa Feen. Hello. He's a hero. He's a superhero, actually. And he's the greatest in the universe. How do you not already know this? It's basically like, I think that's kind of what he's saying. And you should listen to him. Plus, I just want to mention as well, the song is super fun to listen to. I do like the Soopa Feen, like the girl in the background that like sings along with it. I think it's like super like chill and fun, and I don't know, it sounds great. So the rest of the intro, chillin' up in this bitch, leaping over tall buildings in a single bound. Hey, how much you want for that? I'll trade you these shoes. I'll trade you these shoes. I'll trade you these shoes. Bitch, I'll steal from you. Blank, I'm Soopa Feen. So he's kind of a bit of a troublemaker or up to no good, and he's obviously imagining himself as like this like superhero and like the great things that he can do, and he can jump over buildings, and he's just talking about how great he is. So he's negotiating for something. I assume it's drugs. And then he just says that he'll steal it from whoever that he's talking to, because he is the almighty Soopa Feen. Duh. And then this is basically like he's obviously a fiend for drugs. And as specifically noted in this song, crack is his go-to drug. So yeah, verse 1, and here we have Del. So just so you can like kind of get the feeling of what's going on. So Soopa Feen, he used to gleam and glow before he became a fiend for blow. Unredeemable, I seen him go insane, straight from cocaine, graduated to no brain. He went from polos to no name, pawned everything, even his gold chain. Now his skin is dingy. So yeah, Dell's kind of like telling you about what he's seeing about this guy. He's obviously, I don't know, I'm excited to hear, like, you know, his storytelling abilities. So he's telling you about Soopa Feen, and how he used to be full of life, and he used to gleam and glow, and, like, you know, maybe he had like a little bounce in his step, and maybe he was still innocent, and, you know, he hadn't experienced drugs, but, you know, yet. But now he's on crack cocaine. He can not really, like, he's just kind of gone insane because of the drugs, and there's not really any forgiving that you can do for it or anything. He's beyond anything that you can help him. He had money before, obviously. He was wearing polo, so like designer type shirts, but now it's no name because he can't afford that anymore. He takes what he can get. He's pawned all his valuables, and his skin looks dull and dingy, like it's dirty, and maybe it's not getting enough nutrients, and so it's kind of like maybe grayish, or, you know, not a bright skin, you know, which would, you know, you want that. You know, drink your water. So yeah, he be singeing his lips on a glass tube and pass on food. His ass all glued to the seat of his pants. Got cuts and hella pus on his feet and his hands. Completely entranced. Give this blank a face wipe. Before I meet his contact, Commissioner Basepipe, for new assignments, 'cause he said it don't taste right. He used to cop that hop. So he's, you know, burning his lips on the crack pipe, but he's saying no to food. So, like, that's where he's getting, like, his, you know, he's just, like, addicted to, like, this, you know, crack cocaine, I guess, right? And he doesn't want food. He has no appetite for it. And, you know, that's all he's thinking about. And I think that, you know, he's obviously not caring about his overall well-being because he's on these drugs. So, and then the pants, what is it? What is the line? His ass all glued to the seat of his pants. I mean, I don't really think that there's any, like, further explanation besides the fact that, like, maybe, you know, he's maybe wearing, like, pants that don't quite fit him, or he has a wedgie and he doesn't care because he's high. So he's got cuts and scabs that look infected, probably from, you know, doing dangerous things. And he's in such a trance, and I guess he's drooling because he says, you know, Delt says that somebody should get a face wipe for him. So I don't know what's happened to his face, or it's just dirty. Yeah, so before he gets high, his pipe has new drugs to get, so he's got, like, a whole new mission because that wasn't high enough. Didn't taste quite right. He needs another. It's basically any excuse at this point, right? So yeah, he's just addicted. That's all he wants. He's a fiend for drugs. So his face might look familiar to some, and now your boy's plumb dumb, running around the slums, sticking out his tongue at young females. He sees trails. He thinks they're aliens. He starts belling in the precinct. His feet stink. They throw him in the clink because he's 5150. So he might look like the guy that maybe you once knew, but he's not, and he's obviously in like in a disguise, right? Like, he's a superhero. He's Soopa Feen. And now he's just so dumb, and, like, his brain's not there anymore just because of all the crack. He's running around the slums, which are obviously, like, the poor areas. And he's sticking his tongue out at girls, which maybe isn't the wisest move. Because, you know, maybe if somebody sees you doing that, or if you're kind of, like, joking around with certain people, like this might not be the area, because there's probably a lot of tough people and, like, they'll beat you up for any reason, I think. At least, I mean, that's what I hear about slums based on every song that we've gone through. Not every slum, I hope. Anyways, so yeah. And I think that he thinks that maybe they're aliens. Like, I'm not really sure. Like, that's kind of like the next line. So maybe he's sticking his tongue out at aliens, but really they're, like, these girls or whatever. And he starts hollering and screaming, and he stinks. And people are staying away from him. They don't even want to go near him because he's crazy and he stinks. So I feel like, yeah, most people will stay away. And then the police come and arrest him because he's a 5150. And I have the definition here. I looked it up what that means on Google, like what the basic thing is. And it stands for WIC. So it's the Welfare and Institution Code. And it's a legal California law dealing with involuntary commitment of an allegedly mentally ill person who is unable to care for themselves because he stinks, or is in danger to themselves or others for psychiatric evaluation up to 72 hours. So he's crazy and he stinks, as previously mentioned. So yeah, that's why they, I guess, put him in psychiatric care. And then we have the interlude. So this is Soopa Feen kind of again, but it's all Del, it's all done by him. So shit, it's a place to sleep. Beggars can't be picky, you motherfucker. I don't give a fuck if it's in jail. I'll be on the concrete floor, the greatest in the universe. Where's my faulty folk at? Falter, baby. Come on, falter. My faulty shisty folks. Come on, I need my crack. You get your amphetamines smoked up, we out. So any place is good enough for him to sleep, even in jail when you're, homeless. So he's the greatest in the universe, and I don't know, he's just kind of sort of talking nonsense a bit here. I couldn't really find any falter meaning, but I did see somewhere. Where is it? So it is actually, or what I think I found, is that it's someone who is pessimistic and tries to get everybody to think the same way as him. So I guess just like I don't know if that's what that means, but that was the only thing I could find. So if you guys know what that means in his song, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so verse 2, here we have Del again. He got his Garfield and Odie beach towel for a cape and safety pin he used to clean the screen. Fiend, I was a fiend before I became a teen. Now he's a vigilante on Delancey. Then ran to the chancellor looking for his counselor. His trusty sidekick falter for an ounce or a sack at least. Fiend the something in the streets, and then it's back to sleep. Well, actually, he got the master keys, more practices in the crack cave where they got the factory. So he's basically using, a Garfield and Odie. So if you don't know what that is, it's a comic strip. That's, I don't know if it's still going on, but it's been around for a long, long time. As long as I can remember. So, he doesn't like Mondays and he loves lasagna. It's basically a comic strip about a cat and a dog. But mostly a cat. So yeah, he's just sort of running around with these guys, this kind of childish looking, doesn't really make sense towel that he's wrapped around as his superhero cape because he's crazy. Yep, he was a fiend for drugs even at a young age. That's what he said before he was a teenager. So I don't know. And I think maybe that's also why he has this random cape and why he thinks he's a superhero, because he never grew past the childhood stage. So I think he's kind of like stuck in there. That's my opinion. Yeah, and I'm guessing that, all the more drugs and, that he can get, that makes things better for him. He roams around the streets and then back to sleep at night. And he has the master key so he can get into any crack shack, basically. He's, I guess he likes hanging out in crack dens. So Soopa Feen is skinny, can slide through small areas for quick getaways, while Falter pull the Derringer. That's his ace, shiesty as fuck. His specialty is gaffling blanks, extorting their bucks. His best power, the invincible gank. If in your wallet, there's no bank. So, he's skinny, probably because he doesn't eat much, kind of like I said, he doesn't have much appetite for food, just for drugs. And he can get through, small places in order to, escape, from, I guess, big bad guys. And I guess, like I said, I'm not really sure who fault there is. It's either like his imaginary friend, or it's like his drug dealer, or it's just like his friend. I don't know what's going on. But he's there. I don't really think he's imaginary. I don't think he seems to be like a real person, at least. And he's the one that pulls the gun. So he's sort of like, he can talk himself out of like any trouble, swindling people out of money, and he's sort of like a professional scammer, and like maybe that's how they are able to support their habit. So gank means to steal, and so if he ganks, I guess he's stealing from you without even knowing, or without your knowledge, I guess. And if there's nothing in your wallet, let's see what happens. He contacts Soopa Feen with telepathy, saying, "Feen, you need crack, man? I need some amphetamines." He's faster than a speed trip, stronger than a blank on Ron. He thinks he's a superhero. Psh, he's just gone. So basically, he'll trade drugs for other drugs, and then with that, he's flying away because he's like a superhero, and he just like escapes, all these like situations, I guess, or goes to them, if there's drugs involved. Yep. So interlude. We have Soopa Feen speaking here. Bitch, I ain't gone. Your mama gone. I'm Soopa Feen. I got all my factilities, all my utilities, bitch. I ain't home when I wear this cape because I be flying sky high, motherfucker. So he's not gone. He's insulting you, which is something that, in my experience, not all. Some homeless people do, which is, I guess, fair. Plus, maybe they're just crazy. And so he's obviously saying he's got skills and he knows how to use them. And then that's when he's, he's wearing his like towel cape. And that's just, he only has it on for special occasions, aka every single time he's high. So probably all the time. And I guess it's a handy thing. You have this towel, you're good to go. You can use it to lay down as a blanket, to dry yourself off. Universal thing. Okay, so verse 3. So he can't really fly, but he uses a harness to leap tall buildings in his undergarments. His teeth are tarnished. He was banished from Berkeley. Now he's up in North Oakland, looking really perky. Never think he's jerky, but he really is. He plays with the neighborhood kids with fizz coming out the side of his mouth. So Soopa Feen is talking about flying, but Dal is telling you that I guess he's telling us, not just like you, that he cannot actually. But he wears a super harness, I guess, and he leaps over buildings in his underpants. So that immediately made me think of Captain Underpants, who is also a superhero child. Just obviously more corrupt. Maybe this is a story about Captain Underpants when he grows up. I don't know, but probably not. His teeth are gross and damaged, as expected. I mean, I feel like anytime you see somebody who's had like a lot of drugs in their life, they often have like gross teeth. I don't know if it's just because of the drugs or if it's just because you're not getting like any vitamins and stuff. I don't really know why their teeth fall out. Yeah. So he was banished from Berkeley, which is a university campus, and it's also a city in California. And so they kicked him out of the city or I guess of the campus. But I think it's actually the city. And then he's now moved up to North Oakland, where he will probably do it again. So he now is having a fit because of some drugs, and is foaming at the mouth, sort of like ODing, and he's kind of comparing it to, but really it's like fizz candy. So if you guys know what the candies are, they're like really sour and they fizz in your mouth, I think. No, they're not sour, but they do fizz in your mouth, from what I remember. Maybe I had the sour ones. I don't know. Okay. So sometimes he hides in the house devising new routes. So he can be up if he sees Popo. If they're stalking while he jaywalking, looking very awkward, he don't stay far from the corner where they slang Kane. He got the mega migraine, sort of like his spider sense, that he can't fight against. Me, I'd rather light a spliff. That's as high as I can get. But Soopa Feen is superhuman. So he plans on avoiding the police, and he plans like his routes and like his probably like the where he's walking, so he can avoid all the cops and where they hang out and where like they usually park or are on the lookout, I guess. And he keeps an eye out for them. So he doesn't stay far from where they sell crack on the streets, or crack cocaine. And he'll be back. I mean, it's probably not very far from where he's staying, and kind of goes back there a lot because he's an addict. He gets a headache if he doesn't get his fix, and he can't stop it. Like, there's nothing he can do. And I think it's just sort of like the hold of the drug spins like a web around him, like a spider, and he can't fight it. And I feel like that's like the image that I got. So Del is just kind of like, I'll stick with weed over here, and like that's about as high as he gets. Like, he's not gonna like involve himself in any like crack situation. Like, that's not for him. And shouldn't be for everybody, and he's just kind of like, well, that's Soopa Feen. Like, he's got superpowers. Like, he can handle this stuff. Like, it takes somebody that's, I guess, really brave, I guess, to try this drug. And I guess, I don't know, maybe not brave. I don't know if that's the right word at all. So he's got the crystal lungs from the planet base with cream. Will get you sprung. And blanks want to beat your ass for all the shit you've done, but you fight in your own special way when you in the holding tank and other fiends won't let you get your way. You never catch a case because you're slick. Pipe beams projecting, but you're never caught with shit. So he's almost praising him like a bit because of his skills and his talent to do with crack, and I guess and that he has like tough lungs now for you can build up your lungs. Like, I think that they're just there. I don't think you ever need to build them up because he smokes so much crack, and people hate him and like want to beat him up. I guess probably because of all the shit that he's done. He's probably stolen and just probably done a lot of stupid shit on drugs. And he can't really, he's just kind of really down on his luck. But even when he's taken to jail and other crack addicts want his drugs, from what I took from this, that line meant that he had the crack pipe up his butt, and that's why he's never caught. But I feel like it's sneaky, it's smart, I guess, but probably not smart considering I think most of the time crack pipes are glass. Maybe don't put glass in your butt. And I feel like, don't they like inspect you at the jail? So if you had stuff up your butt, like they would catch you. Like, I don't know. That was that was my interpretation of it. You guys let me know what you guys thought of that line. And then we have the outro, which is Soopa Feen again, just kind of talking and rambling off. So you know why I'm never caught with shit? Because I'm Soopa Feen, bitch. I get out real quick, fool, just like a trapdoor. I don't need your commentary. Quit talking to me and show me some respect. Thank, I'm gone. The third, hey, I really need something, though. I got a PlayStation blank. You want to buy it? It's 50 bones. PlayStation blank. Play That's your language blank. Play right? So he's Soopa Feen, and of course, he's just saying like, that's why you never catch me with anything, because he's sneaky and he figures shit out, and like that's it. And he's out of jail every time, and he doesn't, because they can't catch him with anything. Also, the police, because maybe it's up his butt and they haven't checked there for some reason. But yeah, I mean, it seems like he's in and out of jail all the time, and he's pretty much like, I'll take what I get. He's kind of go with the flow kind of guy, I guess. And he doesn't need your comments, Del. So quit talking to him and respect him. He wants to sell him a PlayStation, which is probably stolen or not his. you know, because he needs the money. And then he's kind of like pasty, you know, he's trying to like make it more appealing to like the young kids and make it seem really cool. And then he says, I'm Soopa Feen, I'm Soopa Feen. You can't hold me back, boy. You can't hold me back. The greatest ever. I'll fault your ass. You gotta do this, man. Young Soopa Feen. Real old, though. But I'm young. Younger, too. I be doing it back in your days. Back. Before you was doing your shit. Motherfucker, don't try to tell me nothing. Dellarific. Whatever the fuck your name is. Funky human being. I don't give a fuck about you, your human being. I'll be peeing on your human being. Blank, get the fuck out of my face. I'm Soopa Feen. Quit talking to me. And that's basically the outro. Basically, it's just sort of like Del playing this, you know, homeless person that's just like yelling nonsense and, you know, and he's on crack. So he's just like out of it and it just, nothing makes sense. But yeah, I mean, basically he's the best. Nothing's going to stop him. You know, like I said, he's just talking nonsense. And the character that I feel like pops into my mind when I was listening to this song is basically like Dave Chappelle when he plays like the crack homeless guy. That's kind of like what I think of when I think of it. So I just thought that was funny. So he's kind of just talking about being the crack OG, that he, you know, I've been smoking crack since I was a kid, blah, 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 you know, like, I guess, you know, I guess he's been doing it for a long time. Yep. And he's old now, or at least he looks it. He probably looks older than he is just because of street life, drugs, the usual. You know, which is, and then he says that he'll piss on him and he can't seem to get Del's name right, which I find pretty funny. Like, you know, because it's Del, it's talking. So it just seems to be, you know, maybe these are encounters or like people just not remembering what his name is supposed to be. And then he's kind of like saying like, get out, quit talking to me, leave me alone, which is very different from the beginning. Like, you know, with like his first ramblings, which he wanted people to listen to him. And now he just wants people to fuck off because he's high on drugs and he feels like threatened by Del in some way because he's commenting on like what he's seeing. Like he's not really judging him necessarily, I guess, but he's kind of saying like, this is what I'm seeing. This is your behavior. I'm just telling everybody else what's going on, you know, from what I see from the outside world, because that world that you're in, that looks crazy. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. It's a super fun beat. I loved it. You should go check it out if you haven't listened to it. There's no music video or anything like that, but, the song, definitely add that to your, you know, to download list or to plus on Spotify or whatever you do or whatever happens on Apple. Yeah, it just sounds so good. And the dial, like the beat has like a dial tone or like a, like dialing like, and I mean, for me, I guess it's like an older phone, like a home phone, something that maybe like teens would have, like a beep, 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 like that was a terrible example. But at the time, it was probably quite modern because this was like 2000. And there was a lot of like technology that was being used in like songs, among other things, at that time, like kind of a little bit like futuristic-y sounding, which is like typical of Del. Like he is kind of futuristic and like kind of also questioning like what's going on in the world today, but like kind of like from an outsider point of view. Like I feel like that's Del's thing. Like that's his go-to. So yeah, for me, yeah, and I like the like also like the beeping of the phone because it kind of like it wasn't always there, and then when it was, it kind of like faded in and out, like so it wasn't like super loud and annoying, and it kind of came in and like you wanted to like move with it a little bit. So I just thought that this was like really unique. I really like this a lot. Del is amazing. He has like a great, I mean, he's very unique as well. And it's kind of cool. I really like his like storytelling capabilities that he had on this song. Yeah, I guess that's it. I really liked him. So if you guys like this video, definitely like this video. And you can follow me on Twitter, don't forget, at YLFBonnie. I am waiting for you over there. It's a slow growth, but hey, it's happening. So yeah, come join me. We can hang out over there. I love hanging out with you guys every week on this, as well as on Classic Quest. So yeah, I can't wait to do next time, and leave any suggestions down below. And I'll see you next week, guys. Bye!